Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 207 of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, Knowing Wheel returns to preview the penultimate round of the 2024 season. We are heading out to Losail and to the Qatar Grand Prix, our final sprint race of 2024. And of course, as always, I'm joined by Jamie183. How are we doing, sir?
Good. Yes, I woke up about 10 minutes ago, so I feel slightly dazed. But here we are to talk about Qatar.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hopefully going to be... I mean, Qatar last year delivered quite an interesting race, didn't it? Apparently,
It did.
we're not going to run into any of the temperature issues we did last year. It's only meant to be about 20 degrees when the sun sets, which will be quite good. I mean, it's still much warmer than Vegas last weekend, but, you know, Mercedes, Hopium, all that. Maybe Lewis can get one more victory before his time is done.
Wasn't it like 35 odd or something at night time?
It was mid-30s, yeah.
How was that?
Even at night. Well, it's a few weeks later in the year, remember?
Oh,
which
yes,
helps massively. People forget Qatar last year had like 6 races to go.
Did it? Oh, yeah, because he won a title in it, and it was 6. Yeah, he
exactly.
was so far clear.
It was 6 GPs left, exactly. He matched Nigel Mansell's record come the end of that year. But I mean, yeah, obviously, in typical Jamie and I fashion, of course, we recorded the podcast actually Monday morning last week for a change. And of course, because we recorded it on Monday morning, Jamie, of course, then news broke between when we recorded it and when we normally would have recorded the podcast. So although we did mention it in that episode, it has been officially confirmed that GM Cadillac is going to hopefully be on the grid in 2026. Now, this is a very exciting prospect, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's been cooking for, well, probably 2 years now, isn't it, really? That Andretti, in inverted commas, have been interested in getting on the grid, and the FIA told them to do one. So they've gone and found some credible manufacturers, and F1 are like, yeah, sure. But it is Andretti.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because people are going, you know, oh, well, surely Andretti can, like, come in as well. You're going, no, this is the Andretti team.
Yeah.
I give it at most a year and a half before it is got Andretti in the naming rights as well. They're using all of the facilities that Andretti have already set up in the UK and everything else. Andretti is still going to run the cars and things like that. It is just the Andretti team with Cadillac branding on it. Now, apparently there's a bit more to read into this story, Jamie, that obviously it's the guy that's now been sacked by Liberty, because obviously Andretti were going to sue them, and I think Liberty realised they were going to get absolutely shafted in a lawsuit, that they've now kind of backed down on it, if Andretti have moved a couple of things around, and obviously it now being Cadillac is one of those things. But 22 cars back on the grid for the first time since 2016 is going to be really, really cool as well. Obviously, they'll be coming in for the new regulations, but there are still a few questions to be raised, isn't there? First of all, what engines are they going to be using? Second of all, who is going to be their drivers? Because there's a lot of potential names already circling.
There are, and engines is an interesting one, because obviously Alpine have wound themselves down now, so there's no such thing as a Renault.
Because that's who they were going to be going with.
Yeah, we've got a load of new manufacturers starting in 26. You've also got Ford-backed Red Bull powertrains, which is the first time they're going to make their own engine. Obviously, Audi are making their own. Is that all the new one? Is there one more new one? I'm forgetting.
Honda technically are back again, but kind of never really left as
For
such.
Aston Martin, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Mercedes will have an engine spare, although that's gone to Alpine, I guess.
Exactly.
For now, at least. Maybe Audi want an extra car to power to get some more testing feedback.
I can't see them wanting to run another works brand like that to begin with. Maybe once they... Actually, to be fair, I can't see them wanting to power another works team, or in quotes,
but then
works
it does
team anyway.
It does discredit the team you're powering if they're a customer power unit team in a way. So maybe that just takes out a competition if they're, you know, they're both going to be starting from the bottom, aren't they, really? Although Audi will have a couple of years head start. Yeah. And then the other ones, obviously, you got Mercedes, Ferrari, or that's it. Is it?
Yeah.
Honda, Audi, Ford. Yeah, that's literally it. So of those 5, I don't know. It could be Mercedes. I don't think it'll be Ferrari. Although
apparently...
did Mario Andretti win a title at Ferrari?
No, his was at Lotus.
His was at Lotus,
and
okay.
You best believe they are not bringing engines back anytime soon.
No.
Apparently they are going to be going Ferrari, is what we've heard at the moment.
Really?
But obviously, that is more surrounding the fact, obviously, Ferrari are losing Sauber for 2026, so they'll only have one customer team heading into the new generation.
And that'll be Haas, so both American teams.
Exactly. Even that seems a little bit odd because, of course, obviously then, like you said, it's a complete American, it's just then based on the car surrounding that engine as much as anything else. I mean, Mercedes have got half the teams on the grid near enough, obviously, as of 2026, because obviously it'll be Mercedes, Alpine, Racing, not Racing Point, sorry, it won't even be Aston Martin anymore, will it? McLaren still, of course. And Williams
no, they'll only
are
have,
still meant to be...
Oh, and Williams too. So next year they've got 5.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Next year they're going to have half the grid near enough. Well, they are going to have half the grid,
That's
aren't they?
insane.
Are Alpine going to their power
the
units
grid.
next year?
Yeah,
is it next year Alpine are going there? Yeah, of course it is, So, apparently, though, obviously, because, if Ferrari suddenly turned around and went, no, we don't want to do it, Honda don't have to provide them with engines. And because Red Bull Powertrains is technically still going to be the engine supplier for Red Bull and VCarb, they are actually the team that would have to provide Cadillac.
Because it's
because
the one
obviously
that's
there's
least,
that rule. Exactly, but it excludes new entries, which Honda technically would be, but Red Bull isn't, because obviously it's already Red Bull Powertrains, despite the fact it's still a Honda power unit. It's very
They
odd.
would basically be screwed over by naming rights, because that has been a Honda engine since, 2015, really.
Yes.
And Red Bull will be a new engine supplier on paper. It's just they haven't.
Well, they're technically already doing it, aren't they?
They are technically, but they're actually not, because Honda made that engine. They're just managing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strange one.
And
but
of course,
it would be
also...
Red Bull Powertrain Ford then, or whatever it's going to be called.
Yes, yeah. And obviously they also get a little bit screwed over in that sense because it's based on the year before. Because obviously in 2026, Ferrari would be powering as many cars as Red Bull are anyway. But obviously it's because it's based on the year before that Ferrari would still be powering 3 cars rather than Red Bull's 2. So it's a little bit kind of weird and nuanced, but the way we kind of read it, unless something wild happens, it's going to either be Ferrari powered, which to be honest is going to be my bet, because I would be very, very cautious of trying to get... Obviously, Red Bull trying to build this new power plant, especially obviously with Ford as well. Ford Technical obviously being added to that. Ford and GM do not get on well in the US. Obviously, they are bitter rivals across all kinds of series in the US as well.
Yeah, I guess Ferrari powered the most recent new team, so maybe it's the thing they like to do.
Well, it works out well for them, doesn't it? Of course, it brings you in a bit of extra cash. Obviously, Haas they've taken every single part from Ferrari they can in all their years together. But easily the even more interesting bit, Jamie, is who is going to drive for Cadillac.
Yes. Yeah, this is going to be a bigger topic. Because we're kind of like briefly discussing pre-show that this silly season this year, in 2024, it's kind of separated the wheat from the chaff, hasn't it? In terms of...
Yes.
It feels like all of the really, really decent drivers or good drivers have been locked in to their teams. And all of the mid or lower than mid drivers are kind of getting booted. So I would say 2025, if all the rookies perform as they should, it's probably the most competitive in terms of the best drivers. If you take an average driver ability, it's probably the best ever.
It's got to be right up there. I mean, Lance Stroll still brings that average way down, but...
Yeah, but if you think in 2018, Stroll was nowhere near the bottom, or 19.
Wasn't he?
So, you had Sirotkin for starters.
Yeah, but Sirotkin wasn't actually... Was Sirotkin worse than Stroll particularly?
Yeah, Stroll battered him in the points.
Did he? I didn't think either driver scored many points.
No, it was like 8-2, I think, if I remember rightly, in Stroll's favour. Obviously in a terrible Williams.
Yeah, I was going to say the Williams just got worse, but wasn't it the Williams? It was a bit like Zhou versus Bottas in 2021. In 2022,
Stroll had him on everything. Stroll was better on everything.
Stroll got 8th in Baku and 9th in Italy. Sirotkin got 10th in Italy.
And that was it.
But I swear Sirotkin should have scored decent points in Monaco. I feel like I remember that.
Enough. But regardless, yeah, Stroll is among the rookies. It'll be them and Stroll, won't it? And that's like, we don't love Stroll, but he shouldn't have stuck around for 9 years. But he's not that bad of a driver.
Sergei Sorokin qualified P13 in Monaco. He was 8/10 clear of Lance Stroll.
Wow. The real driver's circuit.
Exactly. Monaco is.
What? Who got pole that race?
Hence why Verstappen crashed out in Q1.
Oh,
Ricardo took pole.
Yeah, great. And remind me how Verstappen's done since that. That was like the turning point of his entire career. So.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the thing is, what staggers me with this Cadillac thing, of course, when you look at drivers, is the fact that you can literally pluck groups of drivers from everywhere. Because obviously you can talk about, the Americans as in Colton Herta. I was going to say Alex Palau, but of course he isn't American, but races in IndyCar. You could look at
Pato
Cadillac's... Pato Award is another great shout. Of course,
American,
also isn't American. But, it's all those exciting things. But also you could look at Cadillac's, obviously the V-Series.R, their World Endurance / IMSA race car, Jamie. There is no Americans in their lineup, but there is one driver with Formula 1 experience. Actually, sorry, 2 drivers with Formula 1 experience. You've got, Jamie, the return, and I would love to see this. Go on, who are you going to guess?
I thought you were going to ask me to name them. I'm like, I didn't even listen to what you were saying. How
No. No. I don't. You'll have heard of 2, maybe 3 of them, I think.
Okay.
So, Formula 1 experience, Jamie. We're going to see the return after 15 years of Sebastian Bourdais to Formula 1, I reckon.
Oh, fantastic.
That would be incredible. What a comeback story that would be.
That would be amazing. It's got to be like the most years between
easily.
out of F1.
I mean, he's not going to come back. I think he's in his 40s now.
No.
The other one with F1 experience, Jamie, a little bit less experience. Of course, Jack Aitken also races for Cadillac. One Formula 1 race to his name, in which he crashed out and ruined George Russell's hopes and dreams.
He did. Perez has been living off that ever since. He would have been out of the sport without that win.
Exactly.
Hamilton would have won his 8th.
I think he's a 7-time IndyCar champion.
Scott Dixon. I've heard of Scott Dixon, yeah.
Exactly.
People don't like him, do they?
No, he's absolutely fine, as far as I'm aware.
Good.
He's won IndyCar titles, Jamie. He won his first in 2003 and his most recent in 2020. And he's still won a race this year. He's been winning races in IndyCar for more than 20 years now. It is just insane.
That is quite mad.
We absolutely love it. Other ones, you've got Renger van der Zand. I mean, get another Dutchman on the grid, I suppose. Earl Bamber, bit too old now, I would have thought. Alex Lynn kind of was always circling around Formula 1 for so many years.
Paroling the 2024 IndyCar lineup to see who might end up in the sport.
Okay.
I would love to see Stingray Robb. That's
Stingray Robb is goated. Stingray Robb, I mean, he's terrible in IndyCar, but he is goated just because of his name. We absolutely love it. I mean,
the guy from the Cayman Islands. Wow. Teo Porcher's chilling. He's a good option. He's genuinely a good option.
That's a very, very good point. It's not one I'd considered yet either. We could do a whole,
you could just name drivers for like an hour.
Exactly. There's so many potential ones. Teo Porcher, though, I think has pretty much instantly become one of my favourites for the seat.
The other one's Frederick Vesti's doing nothing.
Well, Fred Vesti's going to IndyCar next year, I'm pretty certain, alongside Logan Sargent.
The same Maloney's obviously been binned off by Sauber. Now they've committed to...
no, he's going to Formula E, that's why.
He is, but, FE's also got some okay drivers, hasn't it?
Jamie was being very careful there. He didn't hype up Formula E too much. I mean, it is really, the world is their oyster. Could it be... Oh, what's his name? Tried to qualify for Indy last year. Can't remember his name now. Indy Lights champion or something. He's...
Well, Pascal Wehrlein's still winning FE, so...
Of course Pascal Wehrlein's still winning in Formula E. Oh, what's his name?
You got a viral video because Sauber binned off Pascal Wehrlein back in 2017.
I did. What's his name? I'm trying to remember. It's like that's it. Nolan Siegel.
Never.
So... He's 20 years old. He tried to qualify for the Indy 500 this year. Unfortunately, didn't. I believe he won... he came 3rd in IndyCar Junior Series. He won at Le Mans this year in LMP2, which is the most competitive class. He won that at 19 years old. which is just insane. I think he was the youngest class winner ever at Le Mans, I want to say.
The other people who are like chilling in F2 at the minute, who don't have a team, be like Paul Aaron, maybe. He's kind of fallen away, hasn't he? But
he's been a bit unlucky in the second half of the year.
Isaac Hadjar won't get into Red Bull, I don't think.
Maybe. They're talking about him more and more. I mean, he's just going to get outdone by Arvid Lindblad, isn't he? Is the problem there? Yeah,
Lindblad is also a good option, but he'll probably end up in Toro Rosso, I would imagine. Obviously Colapinto is going to be doing nothing.
Yeah, maybe.
And then the one I wanted to shout out because he was desperate for a seat everywhere and didn't get one. It's not Mick Schumacher. Carlos Sainz. Could he fancy a punt?
I'm not convinced he would, unless Cadillac were willing to offer him real money.
It feels like a sideways step, doesn't it? But could Cadillac usurp Williams quite quickly and become more competitive?
I mean, Williams aren't that bad. I mean, you think Williams this year, they've kind of fallen away a little bit this year, but of course we knew that was part of their long-term project. Of course, they've made the car worse by making it better, rather weirdly, Williams this year. But I mean, in terms of actual pace, actually, they have been a bit further away from Haas this year, haven't they? Haas have been very good.
Yeah.
So it would
Haas have just taken a step forward. So have
VCARB, really. Exactly. I think VCARB have only taken a step forward because Red Bull don't need it, but wanted the money. Obviously they're trying to fully fledge out the team to sell it now.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Williams should have finished 8th this year. They've been better than Alpine.
They have been better
most
than
of the year.
Yeah, although that's F1, isn't it? And
exactly.
Alpine have crashed a lot less. The other thing is, I'm trying to think when Haas joined Formula 1, you had like mid drivers towards the back end of their career, or like at least the second half of their career, kind of taking a punt. So you had Grosjean and Gutierrez, didn't you? So
Grosjean was not really at the midpoint. He was still quite young, wasn't he?
He must have been getting on for 30 in 2016.
You class that as quite old in Formula 1. Looks at Fernando Alonso.
That's getting towards the second half of your career. Alonso's only still here because he's aging like a fine wine, and he had 2 years out.
Is he aging like a fine wine this year, Jamie?
Well, he's beating Stroll.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so Alonso turned 30 in 2016, so I'm bang on. Not Alonso, Grosjean.
I was going to say
turned 30. So yeah, could you see someone like maybe an Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, not just because they're French, almost do a Grosjean if the Alpine or the Haas are not to their liking in 25, just take a little bit of a punt on an upstarter.
I mean, let's be fair, a Cadillac are gonna want an experienced driver, aren't they?
They are.
Like whatever way you look at it, they're gonna want someone with a bit of experience. I mean, I hate to say it, but it could legitimately end up being Sergio Perez.
It could be. Yeah, and that's not the worst option in the world because surely he can't be driving that Red Bull for much longer.
But it's also, how badly damaged is he from driving that Red Bull for this long?
Yeah, other one, Valtteri Bottas.
Valtteri Bottas was another one I was going to shout out as well.
Vettel. Probably not.
I don't think Seb will come back. He wants to potentially do World Endurance with Porsche at some point. Him and Jenson Button in one car would be such a lineup. I would love that.
Jenson Button, could he come and serve his 5 first grid penalty?
He may be, yeah. Just bring it back for the one race. That'd be absolutely insane. I mean,
right, we can stop rattling off drivers.
The opportunities are endless. I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Let us know in the comments below who you think is gonna.
And me and Matt are gonna make predictions of who we think. Or sorry, not predictions. If we were Cadillac, who would we
sign? Okay, go on then.
I think
right now 2 drivers.
I think I would try and poach Carlos Sainz.
Okay.
And if that didn't work, if you're thinking just free agents, I would probably.
No, you can try and pick someone sensibly believable.
Okay, I think I would go. That's actually really difficult. I would try and go Sainz next to Teo Porcher, but if that didn't work, I would maybe. If you can't get Sainz, maybe try and get Albon next to Porcher.
Yes, I think. I mean, basically, yeah. You're just trying to take whichever Williams gets beaten up next year, aren't you? Which will likely be Albon. I think if we had to bet right now.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to
say Sainz is probably the one more desperate to leave, isn't he? Off that Williams duo.
Well, maybe. You never know. What if Williams turn it around?
They could.
I'm going to say them. I think you should be targeting Valtteri Bottas, first of all. Safe pair of hands. Safe pair of hands. Probably won't crash the car much unless there's problems with it. And he's probably just a good test bed of, building the car, setting up the car, everything like that. Comes from experience with different teams. I would say alongside him, I was going to also say Théo Pourchaire. I think would be a great first shot. I would also be really, really tempted if he was willing. I would try and see whether Alex Palou wants to take a punt in Formula 1.
That'd be cool.
I think that's
there are
you've
so
got
many
to consider.
drivers. We didn't even mention Zhou Guanyu.
There's a reason for that. Zhou Guanyu is going to Formula E, Jamie. You have to just accept it.
He is such an FE driver at this point.
He is. It'll be perfect. Bring FE back to Shanghai and he'll be golden. Or, like we said as well, if he becomes a Ferrari reserve driver, throw him in their LMDH car.
Well, you look at Zhou.
Even have a great time.
Like, his best attributes as a driver are consistency and not stacking it. So he's perfect for endurance.
He's not great at not stacking it.
He's barely crashed this season.
This season? It's because he's had no one to crash into.
He's barely crashed at all in his career, apart from when Russell killed him.
Killed him?
Yeah, that ruined his confidence. He was on such a good run. He was on such a good run in 2022. And then,
the first half of 2022 will always be the highlight of his Formula 1 career, won't it?
The unreliability that first half.
What about that one lap in Hungary, Jamie? On a sunny Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, that wasn't great. What the qualifying?
No, I meant Saturday.
lap one was we don't talk about, but 5th place in qualifying in that Sauber. My word,
that Sauber was very, very good around that track. But yeah, it was a decent lap time by him. It was a very decent lap by him. Jamie, I'm going to bring you onto your quiz before we head into our Qatar predictions.
I'm worried about this.
Jamie is very worried about this one. There's 42 answers today, but there's
ridiculous.
Not a chance you get all of them. I'm going to give you 90 seconds. So obviously Formula 1, Jamie, they went to this circuit in 2021 for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
But a separate Formula series raced here many years before. Can you name it?
MotoGP.
No, I said Formula Series, Jamie.
What does Formula Series mean?
Well, open wheel cars. What on earth is that for a question on a podcast called Knowing Wheel? What does Formula mean?
Open wheel. Was it IndyCar? No. I don't know.
This is going to be hilarious. So GP2 Asia, Jamie, raced here in their 2008-2009 season. It is the most cursed calendar I've ever seen.
Oh no!
You had Shanghai, Dubai Autodrome, Bahrain, Losail, Sepang, and then Bahrain again. Which is quite funny.
You asked me today who raced in 08-09 GP2 Asia.
Yes, I am. Your time starts now.
Kobayashi.
Correct, he won it.
Oh, there we go. GP2 at that time. That was too early for Haryanto, I'd imagine.
Maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of answers here. Yeah, way too early for Haryanto.
How am I going to get any of these? How many
There's
have
quite a
driven
lot
F1?
you recognise.
And are they all?
Quite a few, actually.
Is it mostly Asian drivers?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because obviously it was basically the GP2 Winter Series when
Timo
GP2
Glock.
wasn't on. No, he was already in Formula 1
he was in
by then
F1,
and
wasn't
just
he?
broken his leg.
Hulkenberg was.
Yes, correct.
Grosjean.
That's 2. I believe.
No, Grosjean was in F1, wasn't he?
Grosjean, yeah, was in F1, sir.
Bruno Senna.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, he's still on 2.
Jordan King, Alex Lynn. Was that too early for them?
No.
Pascal Wehrlein.
No, wait, you were about 13.
I need to go back a bit. Vern, Ricardo.
No.
Who else was a Red Bull driver at that time? I mean, they probably didn't go, did they?
You got 13
I'm thinking drivers
seconds.
who debuted in like 13, 14-ish. Bottas.
No.
Sainz, Gasly.
No.
Verstappen.
You're
No,
thinking,
not Verstappen. He was
you're
12.
going too early now, and your time, Jamie, is
Brilliant.
up. Out of a possible 42, you got 2.
I'm googling this.
No, I'm going to run you through all the answers because there's definitely a few here you'll recognise. So you got Kamui Kobayashi. That was good.
Good.
Jerome D'Ambrosio.
Okay, I could
Should
have
got that. Roldan Rodriguez. Can't say I've ever heard of him, to be honest.
Nope.
He did GP2 Asia and GP2 between 2007 and 2009, and then went back to Spanish Formula 3.
Wow, that's a bit like what Roberto Merri did, wasn't it? When he just after his F1 stint,
just
went back to F2.
He just does anything he can. The GOAT commentator, Jamie.
Oh, I've got the list. Oh dear.
Davide Valsecchi should have got him. Vitaly Petrov should have got him. Hulkenberg, of course, you did
Perez
get.
Was
Perez. Yeah, of course, Perez was in there. He had so much money, he could raise in anything he wanted.
Guess, yeah. Why was
Diego
Dubai
Nunes,
round 2 cancelled? That's what I want to know.
Because it was flooded. The track completely flooded.
In
as
Dubai?
has happened in the... Yeah, and it's happened in the 24-hour at Dubai as well. It's incredible. Wow. Sakon Yamamoto, should have got him.
Should have got him. Why would I have got Sakon Yamamoto?
Why wouldn't you have got Sakon Yamamoto? Eduardo Montaro?
I was actually going to say Alex Young, but I was like, that would be so dumb. He debuted in 02. Why would he be racing in 2009 GP2?
Why wouldn't he? I've just seen Guido van der Gaard's full name. What? Guido Gisbertus Gerrit van der Gaard.
Why is Alex Young in this formula? He did F1 in 01 and 02.
Past Maldonado, Jamie. I mean, we're basically just going through... This is basically 42 drivers that could be on the Cadillac entry list next year.
It could be. This should have been it. Yeah.
Chris Vanderdrift, which is up there with Scott Speed, is one of the greatest ever names.
That's amazing.
Karim Chandok, of course. It's not a racing series without Karim Chandok. Mika Maki, just a brilliant name, with apparently no Wikipedia.
No Wikipedia at all.
Renger van der Zand, we already mentioned him. He is actually a Cadillac driver currently. And Luca Filippi, I feel like I've heard of as well. But I don't know why.
Ricardo Teixeira just sounds like a Portuguese footballer.
Well, Jamie, that was not your finest quiz, is all I'm going to say.
I mean, I've got to say that's probably the hardest quiz that's ever been in this show.
I reckon I could have got at least 15 of those.
No, you couldn't.
No, there's no chance I would have.
If you just read the list and then was asked to name 15, I still don't think you'd have done that.
Can we appreciate that Kamui Kobayashi absolutely dominated this GP2 Asia series, despite not actually really dominating it at all?
Yeah, he won 2 races and 20 points clear in the championship, but then that was it.
Wild. Absolutely. But he did finish nearly every race, which basically no one else can claim. I mean, Jerome D'Ambrosio getting disqualified in Sepang. What on earth was that? GP2 Asia was such a wild time, man, in Formula 2.
Hulkenberg did 2 races. Got
2 race poles. Weekends. Yeah, Hulkenberg would have won it. Exactly. Had he not... no, because he was still in GP2 in 2009, wasn't he? Why didn't Hulkenberg compete more?
In 09.
Why didn't Hulkenberg... Oh, yeah, no, because actual GP2 had started again, I think was the issue.
Well, do you remember when Joe Barnew did GP2 Asia just to get... Or GP3 Asia, sorry, just to get...
No, he did Formula 4 Middle East, Jamie, is what he did. Or Formula 3 Middle East, wasn't it?
And did it work?
To get a few extra super licenses.
And it worked. We got into F1.
He'd already signed for F1.
He hadn't.
What are you on about? Yeah, it's how I thought.
No, it was 2021 he did the GP3 Asia.
Oh, and then still got beat by Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, but he won more feature races.
Crazy. Jamie, you should love this GP2 Asia series as well, because it had Fisichella Motorsport, and you'll never guess who set that team up. Yeah, they got no points all year. So you'll be proud of them.
That's amazing.
That's what you want to sign for.
Yeah, they should be the 12th team.
Exactly, they should be fantastic. I mean, this has been one of our rambliest of rambly episodes, yes. Jamie. Let's actually get back on topic. Qatar this weekend. Yes. I mean, all we've really got to do is the predictions, isn't it? Don't think there's a lot else to discuss.
There's not much to say. Verstappen's a champion. So, have you seen that there's big news articles trying to clickbait people into saying that Verstappen is missing part of Abu Dhabi, which is true because he's already won the title, so they're putting a young driver in for practice.
Oh, wow. No, I hadn't seen any of that.
Yeah, but Abu Dhabi FP1 is always just vibes of loads of different 3-letter initials. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Predictions for Qatar?
What are the scores on the doors? I am. I can lock it up this weekend, I believe.
You actually can. And it's 7 points. So I've got
so I need to outscore you by 1. It's over.
Dead.
It's Jova.
It's sprint as well, so there's 10 points.
So there is 10 points available. I'll let you go first, Jamie.
Sprint is at 2 o'clock UK. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Qualifying
and Formula 2's back, Jamie. I love it.
Oh, it is. I will go first, and because I'm in the mud and it's a cold night in Qatar,
20 degrees is a cold night in Qatar, worryingly.
I will say... I actually don't know. There's 7 possible options, and yeah, I'll rule out Max. He's not like Red Bull's shocking. He's at his climax now in Brazil. There's gonna be no more race wins. Sprint win goes first, isn't it? I will say sprint winner will be Charles Leclerc. That's a dumb one.
Okay.
Pole position. We're going to go back to back for George Russell.
Okay.
Race win, George Russell.
No way. George Russell, back-to-back. You know George Russell now, Jamie, has a better pole-to-win conversion rate than Charles Leclerc.
Norris and Leclerc, probably.
No, he's tied with Norris, still at a quarter.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Mercedes were OP here last year, and Hamilton took out his teammate on lap 1, so...
He didn't take George out, he took himself out, but yeah.
He did, but
they were very good here last year. That was also a Mercedes that was second best in the championship.
Yeah, it was. Although they probably didn't have the second best car over the course of the season, just their driver lineup was quite good.
It was.
Yeah, Russell wins. Do I go for the Merc one too? I don't want to. I'll go for Leclerc second.
Okay.
And Piastri. Why not?
Okay,
he won the sprint race. I'm just going for like throw enough.
I love the way Lando Norris in your world is completely fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah, he has. He's rubbish. He's finished. Psychologically done.
He is pretty much, to be fair. That's what. So you're saying, sorry, Leclerc sprint win, George, Leclerc, Oscar.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say then.
You could just match it and change one
I
thing.
I could. I'm not going to. I'm gonna say Oscar Piastri sprint win.
Back to back.
Yeah, because my logic is, like you said, Lando Norris is going to be bored now because he's lost, so he's not going to be competitive, and therefore Oscar's going to take the sprint win. But that's going to remind Lando that he needs to be
Championship.
Good. Exactly. I'm going to say pole position. I mean, I was almost right with Sainz last week, but I don't. This just won't be a Ferrari track, I don't think.
No, that's
I'm going to say
Leclerc.
Lando Norris pole position for the Grand Prix. I'm going to say... You know what? Yeah, I'm going to say Lando Norris for the win.
Wow,
just because I think...
Just being a hypocrite on what you said 30 seconds ago.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Because Oscar wins the sprint, Lando's going to remember to put his finger out of his behind. I mean, what's the constructors looking like, Jamie? Because I think that's the other thing.
It's 24 points difference.
Exactly. So I think McLaren are going to really try and beat it into Lando that he's got to still do well between now and the end of the year. So if I'm going to say, yeah, Lando takes the win. I'm going to say Oscar comes through for P2 because this was a good track for him last year.
Wow, McLaren OP.
I know. And then I'm going to say...
Lewis Hamilton. This is his last shot at a race win, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why not Abu Dhabi?
Because Abu Dhabi isn't a Mercedes track or a Hamilton track.
No, okay. Then I'm going to say third place. You know what? I'm going to hedge my bets here. I'm going to say Charles Leclerc, just because you've also put
you're
on your
a rat.
roster.
You are a rat. Why would you not say Lewis Hamilton there?
Because I'm going to say Lewis is going to win Abu Dhabi when it's all locked up. My podium for Abu Dhabi is going to be
say
Hamilton.
Hulkenberg Joe on the
I'm going to say, I'm going to say Hamilton Joe Hulkenberg in Abu Dhabi if it's locked up. You can hold me to that. It's going to be incredible. I mean, we'll ask the question once again, Jamie. 2024 Constructors World Champions will be...
It will be McLaren. I would love for it to be Ferrari. It would be hilarious if it's Ferrari.
It would be. I don't think Ferrari or McLaren want to win it anymore. Is the only problem they've got because, of course,
I don't think Ferrari realise they're in a title fight.
Well, Fred Vasseur apparently told them both off last weekend after the Grand Prix.
Around?
Well, just having that absolute meltdown towards the end of the GP.
I think they would both love to win the World Championship since this is what the sport's about. It's about winning. It's not about wind tunnel time.
Do you want to know what is absolutely insane? If Haas, Alpine, or VCarb had another miracle result like Alpine did in Brazil, they could genuinely beat Aston Martin.
I mean, not quite.
They'd be 3 points behind.
If they got a 1-2, there would be 3 points.
No, 3-4, 2-3. Sorry, 33 points.
Yeah, true.
It's 86 to 50. That's what I mean. They'd be ahead.
All right, Hulkenberg Magnussen 1-2 in Qatar.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. To be fair, Sauber looked quick here last year. Could they score a point, Jamie? Probably not.
No, he didn't. No, he did. He got ninth, didn't he, from last on the grid? What a goat.
He did, yeah. It's because the Sauber was very, very good on its tyres there.
It was. It's sad we don't get the stupid tyre rules. They were quite fun.
It did make quite an interesting race last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
Who's going to finish 6th overall then, Jamie? Haas, Alpine and VCarb.
I think I said Haas before, didn't I? So I actually said Haas, Alpine,
No, I think
VCarb.
you said VCarb, I thought.
No.
I said Haas.
I backed Haas, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Haas, Alpine, VCarb. Exactly how it is right now.
I'm going to say Haas, VCarb, Alpine. Just because
Fair.
the thought of Alpine having that miracle result and then still having the pace to hold on.
Will Hulkenberg beat Fernando Alonso? That's the big question.
Oh, that is a question, isn't it? Are they tied on points now?
No. Hulkenberg's 27 behind.
Oh, sorry. For some reason I thought they were close. Don't know why.
A race win.
The fact Stroll is 13th.
A race win in a 9th place, and it does it.
Nice. I can see that happening. I mean, I'm
Exactly.
sure that's the likely outcome rather than like 2 fourths or something. 2 fourths wouldn't quite do it. You need 2
4ths wouldn't do
podiums.
it. He would need a podium, which, we've been trying that for 14 years. So
Yeah. Optimistic. Have you got anything else to add, Jamie? This might be our worst ever rambly episode.
we have rambled on massively. Let us know in the comments if you want to drive the Cadillac in 2026.
Yep, I'm sure both of us are in the running. Exactly.
We were getting close. They should have watched Co-op, and then they would definitely sign both of us.
I'm sure they would. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like. Get yourself subscribed. And Jamie and I will return next week to review the Qatar Grand Prix and celebrate my victory in our predictions.